People love to talk about the good old days. Bob was talking about it at lunch. But you know, the good old days weren't always that good. Look at emergency medicine, for example. Did you know that prior to the 1970s, many of the ambulance companies in the United States were owned and operated by funeral homes? Now, there's a little conflict of interest here. I mean, take them to the hospital, take them to the funeral home. Hospital, funeral home. They get the money, we get the money. They get the money. Sorry, pal, doesn't look like you're going to make it. You can tell by the kinds of vehicles we drove. This is what an ambulance looked like back in the 60s. It's a hearse painted white. If you were still alive when you got to the hospital, your chances of survival improved significantly. The engine compartment is bigger than the patient compartment. And it's a good thing, because there wasn't a lot of patient care going on back there. Our motto in those days was, you fall, you call, we haul, and that's all. So they changed that. They sent us to school, taught us how to start IVs, give you drugs, shocked the stuffings out of you with that cardiac defibrillator. In fact, that was the first 3 months of paramedic training, learning how to say cardiac defibrillator. Now our motto is, you fall, you call, we'll stall and maul before we haul. Well, tonight I want to give you a few things to think about the next time you get the urge to call 911. Rule number 1, don't bite the hand that bleeds you. Now, this is easier to do than you might think. We realize when you're sick or hurt, you don't feel well, a little grumpy. Half the time you bite our heads off. That's okay. There is one unpardonable sin, and that's if you call me an ambulance driver. Now, being the truly dedicated professional that I am, you'll never see me grimace or grit my teeth. But before you know it, you wonder why it feels like I'm drilling for oil in your arm. Or why it takes 5 needles to start with 1 IV. Rule number 2, if you're going to be stupid, you'd better be tough. Now, this rule was written specifically for females between the ages of 15 and 25, and all males. Look at Evel Knievel. The man has made millions of dollars for his team of orthopedic surgeons. Rule number 3. Paramedics get paid for what they know, not for what they do. What this means is if you have a problem with any of the 3 Ps, that's piss, poop, or puke, we're not going to clean it up. We'll get you to the hospital as fast as possible because we feel that's why nurses get paid the really big bucks. Rule number 4, caution. Cell phones may be hazardous to your health. And this has nothing to do with ear cancer. Recent research has confirmed that cell phones suck every ounce of common sense out of your head. We get calls for people changing a flat tire, people laying down in the park on a blanket. And we always ask the caller, did you stop and see if they need our help? No. So we always tell the caller, we'll be right there to confiscate your phone. Rule number 5, don't take this life too seriously, but don't ever take it for granted. Now, in Eastern Washington, we have a city called OMAC, and these people know how to party. They have a week-long celebration called the OMAC Stampede. And at the same time, they have this thing called a suicide race. Now, I don't know, but it sounds to me like the first person to kill themselves wins. I don't know know what first place gets, but it's not enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Samuel Shem said it best in his book, The House of God, when he wrote, when you're dealing with a cardiac arrest, the first pulse you check is your own. And if it's there, thank God. And if you have to, call 911. But remember this. If you wake up and you're looking at me, it's a bad day. Ask my wife.